The best player of the Excellent Era gaming crew, Ye Cho, is called to the manager's office for something quite important. Expecting to have a contract upgrade or renewal, Ye Q is met with disappointment. The manager tells Ye Chu that they now have another player, Sun Xiang, who is going to replace him. Basically, they do not need Ye Q again. He has been their best player over the years, but now they are just going to throw him under the bus, like it's nothing. His avatar known as Autumn Leaf will also be given to Xiang to manage. Yi's best friend Muqing is present in the room and she tries to defend her best friend, but Yi tells her not to stress herself. Since the board has made its decision, there is no need to try and change it. To make things even worse, the manager wants Yi to retire from the game. If Yi agrees to retire, he will not be able to return to the big league for 1 year. Surprisingly, Yi agrees to the terms. He steps outside the building and tells Muqing that he is going to use the 1 year to rest before coming back. Yi walks away with his best friend, watching with tears in her eyes. The manager, Kui, is confident that Ye doesn't have what it takes to come back. Apparently, Ye spends all of his money to help his friends, and now that his contract has been taken away, he will supposedly become a pauper. Ye is strolling through the snowy street when he comes across a network cafe known as Happy Net Cafe. Yi decides to step inside to see what they have going on there. This is a cafe where gamers spend their time, and it already interests Ye. Ye finds the manager of the cafe, Guo, sweating hard to win a game. Frustrated after so many losses, she slams her fist on the table before standing up. She passes the headphones to Ye, telling him to try out the game. Guo has already lost 52 times, and this is what keeps ringing in her head. She forgot to log out of her account, but just as she turns back to go and do it, she is shocked to see that Ye has finished the game that she has been trying to beat for so long. It immediately dawns on Guo that Ye might be a professional at the game. In fact, Ye might be the all-popular Ye Kui of the Excellent Era, she thinks. Guo decides to check Ye's ID to confirm her suspicions. However, she is left with disappointment when she realizes that Ye is registered as Ye Shu instead of Ye Chu. Guo immediately throws away her assumption that Ye is the popular best player. Since Guo is the manager of the cafe, Ye asks for a job at the cafe. Surprisingly, Guo agrees to hire Ye at the cafe as long as he completes the challenge to defeat her in a 1 versus 1 match. Not long after this, the announcement to open the District 10 League comes on. While everyone is registering for the league, Ye is busy reading the beginner's manual. This further adds to Guo's disappointment, commenting on the fact that she thought Ye was a pro. Ye replies that he is actually a pro, and he is the actual Ye Cho, but there is no way in hell that Guo is believing this. Ye tries to convince Guo, but she is just so adamant about the fact that Ye cannot be the best player that everyone adores. Mocking Ye, Guo tells Ye that she is also Muqing. Ye registers for the league, and he picks an unspecialized character, unlike others. Ye calls himself Lord Grimm, and upon entering the gaming world, he makes his way to a chest where he claims an umbrella weapon. The name of the weapon is the 1000 Chance Umbrella, and it is still in level 5. This doesn't seem to worry Ye since he is ready to level up the weapon to his taste. That night, Guo sleeps off, while Ye stays on the game. Ye's first target is the game boss, Phantom Cat. Yi soon finds another party going after the cat. A particularly weird guy, Moon, is the one who put together the party. He claims to be a pro, and he is ready to help the rookies in taking down the cat. Yi joins his party alongside a few other rookies. The party soon comes across the cat, and in no time, the cat attacks them. Because of their uncoordinated attacks, the cat seems to be getting the upper hand. It starts to pick them off one by one. However, Ye is standing in the distance, staying away from the fight. It is as if he wants to see what is going to happen in the end. Another highlight is the fact that Moon is retaining his HP while the others are getting trashed. The entirety of the party soon dies off, leaving only Moon alive. The cat comes after Moon and pins him down. Moon asks for Ye's help, but he refuses. Yi tells Moon that he knows his plan all along. Apparently, Moon intentionally led the rookies to a cat they can't defeat, so he can pick up their loot once they were dead. Moon is surprised that Ye has seen through his plan. Moon then offers Ye the chance to split the loot, but Ye refuses. Ye tells Moon that he doesn't need his help. Ye is going to defeat the cat all by himself and take all the loot for himself too. Yi waits till Moon's HP reaches 0 before engaging the cat. With his level of experience, Yi is able to easily defeat the boss. Guo wakes up to the guy gathering his supplies, and she assumes that the guy has a very low action per minute ratio. Instead of Guo admitting that Ye did well in the fight against the cat, she basically assumes that he was lucky. Ye's name has now spread throughout the lower league. Most of the players consider him shameless for allowing his teammates to die. When Ye logs logs into the game again, he can hear everyone talking trash about Lord Grimm. Looking for a party to join for his next hunt, Ye intentionally seeks out Moon's party again. Moon cannot believe how shameless Ye is. Since Moon needs one more person in his party, he agrees to add Ye to the party. Moon plans to unalive Ye once they enter the Green Forest. However, Ye is not the one to disappoint, as he easily takes down the first boss that they come across. It starts to dawn on Moon that he might not have a chance against the guy. Moon then suggests that they head to the spider cave for more battle. Upon entering the cave, they are attacked by a bunch of mini spiders, but Ye wipes them out with just one attack. The spider boss emerges from where it is hiding and it comes after the group, but Ye alone takes on the spider. Yi hits several combos that leave the party members totally shocked. All by himself, Yi takes down the spider boss, and this sends waves across the league. A particular player, Blue River, takes an interest in Ye and decides to look into him. Ye and his party continue to investigate the cave when they run into a hidden spider boss. This one looks even more scary than the last, but this doesn't stop Ye from going after it all by himself. While fighting the monster, he tells his party members to be prepared. Yi speed blitz the spider while calling out instructions. Moments later, the spider is defeated and the news spreads across the league again. Lord Grimm is getting popular by the day. Blue River then spams Ye with multiple friend requests. After Ye is tired of denying his requests, he finally gives in. Blue River tells Ye that he wants him to join his guild, the Blue Brook Guild, so they can go on missions together. Ye initially refuses the offer, telling Blue River that he cannot go on missions because he is busy leveling up. After several failed attempts to recruit the guy, Blue River just slams his head on the table. The following morning, Guo returns to the cafe and she is shocked when she hears that Ye got 3 boss kills over the night. As expected, Guo still considers this a beginner's luck. Ye has nowhere to stay, and he asks Guo if she can help. Guo takes Ye upstairs to one of the rooms she has there. Ye enters the very nice apartment and his mouth is left wide open. He thanks Guo for being a nice person, but not before he realizes that he is not going to be staying in the nice room. Guo has another washed up room for him. It is a confined space with loads of unused things inside. At least there is a bed inside the room. Yi doesn't waste time before passing out on the bed because he is severely tired. Yi later wakes up to see Excellent Era announcing his retirement. Seeing this makes everyone watching totally emotional because Ye has created loads of memories for them. Some are moved to tears because of this, and one of them is Guo. Yi finds her crying in front of the cafe. Guo is surprised that Ye is not taking the news too hard. Unknown to her, Ye is the most affected by the news, but he has just accepted his fate. Ye gets Guo a bunch of napkins for her to clean up because she is totally messed up. When Guo leaves, Ye just stands in the snow to take a long puff and think about the future ahead. Ye finally enters the cafe to continue with his game, but Guo is still sobbing. Guo is still in doubt of Ye's ability, but to her surprise, Ye makes a 24 combo right in front of her. Even at this, Guo doesn't want to believe that the guy is talented. Later on, Ye meets up with Blue River and his boys. They are planning on taking on a boss. Yi tells Blue River that he would like to take command of the mission. The team is shocked when he sacrifices their healers for players with high damage attacks. They already believe that the mission is a failure because they have never heard of a party functioning without their healers. Yi finds a group of goblins, and he takes them head on. He tells the rest of the team to be prepared to engage. With his neck-breaking skills, Yi runs around the goblins. Yi shows how effective his umbrella is by transforming it into several base weapons. From a spear to a Gatling gun, the umbrella is capable of whatever Ye wants it to do. Ye manages to gather all the goblins in the direction of the party. Ye then calls out instructions for the team to follow. Following his guidance, the team takes down the goblins pretty easily. Meanwhile, the healers are already thinking of going to the battlefield to retrieve their comrades' bodies. They have no faith in the fact that Ye and the party can pull off the mission. They are in the middle of this when they receive the report that the team has finished the mission on record time. Everyone on the server also gets a notification about this impressive feat. After the mission, Blue River is still bragging about the entire thing when Ye quits the guild on him. Ye has finished using them for what he wants, and he is done. Up next, Go brings a friend of hers, Tang, to the cafe. Tang is well known among those who frequent the cafe. Tang is said to be an experienced player that most people want to be like. Tang gets to the cafe and wastes no time in helping Guo take down a boss who has been giving her issues. Things take a funny turn when Tang ends up challenging Ye to a 1 versus 1 fight. Ye bets a pack of cigs while Tang puts down real money because she is confident that she's going to take down Ye. The battle begins, and Tang puts up a good fight at first. However, Ye gets serious with her, and he starts to run circles around her. Ye uses everything in his arsenal to frustrate Tang. Tang almost blows Ye to bits at some point, but she soon realizes that the real Ye has teleported behind her. All of Tang's efforts go to waste when Ye strikes her down without sustaining a single hit from the girl. Tang is utterly disappointed in herself, while Guo cannot believe that Tang just lost to Ye. Tang is not ready to concede defeat, and she places another bet. Ye doesn't want to honor the request, since he only sees himself bullying the girl. However, Tang insists on this. Yi has no choice but to agree to the fight. As expected, the fight ends the same way. Yi beats Tang to a pulp, but Tang continues to challenge Ye until the guy now has a load of money. Tang still doesn't want to give up, but Ye is already tired of trashing her around. Tang is glued to her seat as she tries to figure out what is wrong. Ye doesn't make things easy because every opportunity he gets, he trash talks Tang. Tang was their hero at the cafe, but Ye just trashed her like she was nothing. Ye tells Tang that the game is not entirely based on the actions per minute ratio. Experiences are also needed when it comes to dealing with the game. Ye takes his money and walks out of the cafe to spend it on whatever trash he can find. Tang is the most stubborn person ever. She is not going to give up on trying to defeat Ye. Tang tells Guo that she is going to train to defeat Ye. Later on, Ye comes back to the cafe with fries. This is something he bought with the money he won from Tang. Talk about being cruel. Tang, on the other hand, is creating a new Glory account. She wants to use an unspecialized character just like her newly found rival. However, Guo manages to convince her to play as a battle mage. Tang agrees to this, and together, they start checking through the training files that Guo has on her computer. These files that she collected about Ye Cho when he was a battle mage. Ye sees what the two are doing and tells them not to waste their time. He reminds them that the files are already outdated. Ye wrote the instructions years ago, but now he is offering to tutor Tang physically. As expected, Tang refuses the offer, and she heads to the novice village to start leveling up. Later that day, Ye catches on to the info that some guilds are trying to take down a certain difficult boss. Yi enters the party when things are getting rough. The boss has already given the fighters a hard time before Yi enters the fray. With his fast-paced attack, Yi is able to stand toe-to-toe with the boss. Blue River and other players, who are present at the scene, can only watch Yi do his thing. Yi meets a crazy player like himself. His name is Steamed Buns, and because of their craziness, they are able to work together. Steamed Buns and Ye are fighting the beast, while the other players are looking for an opportunity to come in for the kill. Just when the beast's health reaches a critical level, Ye suggests that he and Steamed Buns run to lure it away from the scene. Blue River and other players numbering up to 30 are already closing in on them. The beast goes berserk and awakens the undead. The undead then takes on the players, while the boss itself chases after Steamed Buns and Ye. Ye has a plan to engage the beast. Moon and the rest of his party are waiting for Ye at a specified location. Once the boss reaches them, it is a full-on attack. Ye plans to take down the boss before the other players can escape the horde of the undead. However, the boss is not going down easily. The moment Yi figures out that Blue River and some other players have started closing in on them, he increases the intensity of his combo. Yi continues to hit the boss repeatedly, trying to take it down, but the boss just takes the attacks to the body while refusing to fall. Just when Ye realizes that the boss is about to go berserk again, he grabs onto the boss to start beating him up. He ends up smacking the big boss into a wall. The big boss loses all of its mobility, but before dying, it tries to activate another horde of the undead. Steamed Buns is the first to get on this. He takes down the first undead to make sure that there is no horde coming from it. The boss finally loses all of its HP and disappears like dust. The news of Ye defeating the boss rocks the league yet again. Ye had successfully stolen the boss kill from Blue River and his bunch of minions. Things are starting to look real to Guo, as she cannot but wonder how Ye is pulling off these massive feats. Later on, Blue River tries to recruit Ye again, but Ye lets him know that he has an appointment with the big guild called Tyrannical Ambition. A new guild emerges called the Excellent Dynasty, and this guild has been racking up wins too. Rumor has it that the new guild is a subsidiary of Excellent Era. Some players claim that Ye has joined the new guild to help them. Yi doesn't want this rumor to continue flying around, and he enters the chat to try and quench the rumor. He points out what he thinks to those asking. Yi believes that Excellent Dynasty has some really good players, which is why they can do what they are currently doing. Yi wants to break the dungeon record, but to do this, Tang believes that he is going to need at least 5 men. Yi decides to put together a team to help with this mission. Guo already assumes that Ye is going to select her as the team's launcher, but Ye, being who he is, might disappoint her ass. Meanwhile, Sun Xiang is getting popular by the day. He is helping Excellent Era pull some impressive missions. Ye then decides to watch one of their games. Everyone is cheering for Sun Xiang and Excellent Era, but the way Ye is looking at things, he is convinced that Excellent Era is going to lose the game. Ye tells Guo that Xiang is arrogant, which will force him not to play alongside his team members. The game is a team-based game, and there is not much that Xiang can do by himself. However, Guo disagrees with Ye on this. She reminds Ye that Xiang is a fabulous player. Instead of arguing with Guo, Ye just ignores her. Sheng goes against another player, Shu. Mu Cheng is also present on the battlefield alongside Sheng. The commentators believe that Mu Cheng is doing fine without Ye, but Ye can see that Mu Cheng is not. Just when the fight reaches its prime, the connection gets disconnected because of an interruption in the power supply. Later that day, Ye and Tang are the only ones left in the cafe when they receive an unexpected visitor. Hao, Ye's former teammate, enters the cafe all drunk. He is there to mock Ye for being a regular network manager while he has been promoted to the position of vice captain on the team. Tang sits there, totally confused about what is happening. Ye, not feeling a tad intimidated, ends up sending Hao off like a baby crying for his toy. After he is gone, Ye tells Tang that Hao is his former colleague, but there is nothing to worry about. Yi suggests that Tang focus on leveling up his character. Days later, Ye has put together his team. This is the team that will help him clear the mission he is about to embark on. Steamed Buns is on the team, and so is Tang, whose in-game name is Soft Mist. Ye has also been able to convince Mu Cheng to join his team. The team soon takes on a horde of goblins. Everyone has a role to play on the team. Mu Cheng provides long-distance cover for the team. The team's cleric, Guo, is also there to watch instead of helping out the team. Tang is playing like Ye, but anytime her health bar depletes, Ye tells her to stand back while he takes on the enemies. While they are battling it out with the goblins, Ye is also using the opportunity to teach Tang certain things that are missing in her gameplay. Some of the players do not know that Mu Cheng is the launcher in Ye's team, but she makes a move unique to herself, and by this, suspicions start to grow. As usual, Guo is quick to assume that the launcher is not Mu Cheng, and it is nothing but dumb luck. The team ends up clearing the mission pretty easily, which shows just how coordinated they are. Mu Cheng is happy to be working with Ye again. The team continues clearing missions together, and the news of this only makes Hao madder. Hao cannot believe that Ye is shattering records even after he left the Excellent Era. With the way Ye is moving, Hao can see that he is trying to build a weapon that will help him start all over again. Hao can no longer contain his anger, and he decides to challenge Ye. He asks Ye for a player versus player match, but Ye proceeds to embarrass him by putting Steamed Bun Bao against him. Bao doesn't take the match seriously and ends up losing to Hao. This doesn't mean anything to Ye because it is all part of his plan. Hao is ready for a rematch that night, but one of his team members enters the room to tell him that they have a competition to play in. Hao has totally forgotten about the match, and this causes him to perform terribly. Hao later comes back to seek advice from Ye. Ye tells him what he is doing wrong, but because of his arrogance, Hao can't seem to see the fault in what he did. Later on, one of Ye's old acquaintances, Sheotian, sneaks into the cafe to see Ye. Ye takes Sheotian to his private space because he needs the guy to help him with a task. Sheotian threatens to expose Ye's identity if the same thing happens to him. Ye and Sheotian soon meet up with the rest of the team at the boneyard. Ye is about to tell his teammates who Sheotian is, but Xiao prevents this by screaming at the top of his voice. Yi shows the reason why they are at the boneyard. He hits the ground, forcing a bunch of undead to emerge. There is a hole in the wall and it seems to keep things in place. Yi uses his skills to get the enemies stuck on this side of the wall. Xiao is particularly impressed with the way Ye's weapon is transforming like it is nothing. Xiao chases Ye down, asking him how he managed to make his weapon the way it is. Ye then reveals that he has been building up the weapon by hunting down monsters. Yi still uses this opportunity to trash talk Xiao. While you were busy messing around, I was working on my weapon sort of thing. The boneyard boss soon showed up to engage the team. Ye and Xiao work together to try and get the boss stuck in the wall. Xiao's character is a show of elegance and flexibility, proving to the team members that he is no rookie. He might be talkative even more than Bao, but he's got the skills at least. After a short battle with the boss, they are able to smack into the wall. The conversation about Hao then comes up. Yi knows that Hao only wanted to learn about the team's tactics, but he didn't care. He still allowed him to partner with them, but as expected, Ye had everything planned out. Ye considers Hao a professional gamer and he just wants to use the guy the way he sees fit. To continue with his plan, Ye invites Xiao to the Blue Brook Guild. Ye urges Xiao to sit tight and focus on the mission at hand. When Hao hears that Ye's team has cleared his previous record even faster than he did it, he immediately becomes interested in the new member who was added to the team. Just by looking at Xiao's profile, Hao easily figures out that he is the one. After the mission, Xiaoshan prepares to leave the cafe. He is still worried about Hao, but Ye tries to tell him not to. Xiao sees Hao as a wolf in sheep's clothing. At the excellent building, Hao gets the idea that Mucheng is helping out Ye's team. However, there is no proof to support this because he is also trying to maintain his identity. Mucheng still has a 1.5-year contract with Excellent Era. This means Ye will have to wait till then before he can fully have Mucheng to himself. Even though Ye will be 26 by then, he still trusts in his skills. When it is time for Xiao to leave, Ye makes sure to collect the fee for the time he spent at the cafe. Ye and his team are carrying out a mission when they are suddenly attacked by a character, Plantago Seed. His real name is Wang, and he is the captain of Tiny Herb. Wang intentionally fought Ye and his team to figure out who Lord Grimm is. Wang is defeated by Ye and his team, but Wang already has the information that he wants. With the way Lord Grimm is fighting, Wang knows he is up against Ye. Wang is also a top player who is respected in the gaming world. He is so good that he has his own character, which is a magician. Wang puts together his team, and he hands them player IDs for District 6. Their instruction is to eliminate Lord Grimm. One of the team members, Ifan, wonders why professionals like them are going after a rookie. Ifan teams up with another player to go after Ye. Ye is able to stand his ground against these two professional players. Ye even causes Ifan's teammate to hurt him by swiftly dodging his attack. The two players are good at combining their techniques, but they just cannot touch Ye. Ye is just on another level as he taps his keyboard aggressively, leaving Ifan and his teammate in the dust. Those who are physically present with Ye at the cafe can only watch and marvel at just how fast the guy is. Ye is inputting each action so fast that the game itself barely has time to react to his combos. Ye creates an array of light that sends Ifan off his foot. Even with this, Ifan remains determined and he still comes after Ye again. Ifan uses his stealth skills to try and surprise Ye, but Ye is more than capable of seeing this before it happens. Ye dodges the attack and hits Ifan with a counterattack. Ye is about to finish Ifan off, but one of his team members shows up just in time to drop a cloud of smoke, hoping it will impair Ye's vision. They are shocked when Ye emerges from the smoke to knock Ifan into a wall. Ye turns his attention toward the just arriving teammate. However, before Ye can beat him to a pulp, Wang himself arrives at the scene. In fact, Wang is serious about the hunt because the entire gang is with him. Wang tells his team members that they have one mission only, and this is to defeat Lord Grimm. Wang then tells his team members who are ignorant that Lord Grimm is Ye. Ye is considered the boss of bosses in the game, which is why Wang wants them to take him down. He doesn't seem to be feeling the pressure of Wang and his team ganging up on him. In fact, he dares them to come after him all at once. This is a show of arrogance to his opponents, and they just cannot sit back and watch Ye insult them. Every member of the team goes after Ye all at once, but Ye makes a run for it after shooting a few rounds from his gun. When asked why he is running away, Ye simply replies that he is not running. He tells those who are after him that he is making a strategic retreat and not a cowardly move. Yi continues running while the team throws everything at Ye to try and stop him. Yi makes it over a fence, but when his assailants get there is no presence of Ye whatsoever. This leaves them baffled, because there is no way he escaped from them so fast. Ifan is the first to figure out that the guy has gone offline. No one can believe just how shameless Ye is. Wang then tells his crew to continue to train in readiness for when they are going to face Ye again. It is obvious that Wang alone has no chance against Ye, but with the help of his team members, they might just have what it takes to take down Ye. Ye uses another account to visit Wang and his team. He tells them not to stress themselves and offers to fight them in the arena. However, he has one condition for this. Yi tells Wang that they need to defeat Tang if they want a shot at him. Yi is placing so much confidence in Tang. Tang easily loses the battle, and Yi honors his word. He creates a private arena room where they can fight. Yi and Ifan get to have a one-on-one discussion, and Yi tells Ifan to try changing his specialization from assassin to ghostblade. Ifan has always been a fan of Ye, and instead of Ye bullying him, he just gives him a piece of advice that might help him. Ye even tells Ifan to be brave and not think about losing. Not long after this, Ye and Wang meet in the arena for their battle. Wang and Ye charge at each other with incredible speed. They are even matched when it comes to their action per minute ratio. The two keep throwing attacks at each other, but because of their skills, they both block the attacks. Ye decides to use an environmental attack by pushing a pillar on Wang. Some of Wang's teammates don't like this because they believe Ye is playing dirty. Fire erupts from the arena grounds, making Ye look cool. However, being the magician that he is, Wang creates an ice wall to block out the fire. Wang is finally tapping into his real skills since he is up against a pro. He has no reason to hold back whatsoever, and the match between him and Ye is just pure entertainment for those who are watching. After a few minutes of battle, the match ends as a draw. After the battle, Ye remains confident because he has earned a lot. He is even arrogant enough to tell Wang that he tried. Wang, on the other hand, takes this very seriously, and he plans to keep practicing. Ye is packing up the number of dead keyboards he has used in his room when Tang shows up to tell him that Wang invited her to join his guild. As expected, Tang refuses the offer. Ye tells Tang to continue practicing because she is going to turn pro with the right dedication. On the other hand, Ifan has taken Ye's advice. He switches his area of specialization from being an assassin to a ghost blade. All he now has to do is put in the work. Later on, Bao shows up at the cafe in person. Bao claims to be on a trip but decides to say hello to Ye. With the way he acts and talks, Ye realizes that the guy is just the same as his in-game character. Ye, Tang, and Bao visit the game trading center to buy pieces of equipment that will be useful for them. Meanwhile, those who want him crushed are still working around the clock. While surfing through the market, Bao comes across a nice weapon, but Ye refuses to buy it for him. Yi tells him that the equipment is too expensive even though it is rated orange equipment. Ye finds a Blue Brook trader and sells to him the spider thread he previously won from them. At the Heavenly Domain, Lord Grimm's name has started to pop up. He is gaining attention from the big boys already. Some believe he is a fluke, while some think they should take Lord Grimm pretty seriously. While Ye is busy going around, getting the things he needs, some players are stalking him, waiting for the right opportunity to strike. Yi meets up with the rest of the team at the Desolate Lands. While he is discussing with Bao, Bao's intuition tells him that someone is watching them. Bao immediately gets on this, in an attempt to fish out the culprit. Bao sneaks around the corner and runs into the player stalking them. Bao wastes no time in attacking the player. This leaves a cloud of dust in the area, but when the dust clears, it turns out that the player is none other than Yifan. Ye is surprised to see Yifan, and particularly the fact that the boy has taken his advice. Ye actually came to the Desolate Lands to talk to Ye. Ye then tells the boy that he is free to practice with him and his team members. Bao reminds Ye that he felt a murderous intent around them, and since Yifan is not the one, he wonders who it might be. Ye lets Bao know that he is not wrong. It turns out that a bunch of players are watching them from above. Apparently, players from several guilds have come together in an attempt to crush Ye. Yifan creates an area of ability buff, which gives Bao and Tang 20 seconds to effectively combat the enemies. Once the array is out, Ye steps in to defend his team members. Once Yifan's ability has reached his cooldown limit, he activates it yet again. Everyone on the team benefits from this. Heightened senses, hyper reflexes, and others are a few benefits that come with Yifan's ability. Yi and his team successfully dispatches the enemy players. The fight is being watched by some other players from behind the covers. Ye and his team have no chance for a breather as another wave of enemy players arrive to engage them. A particularly arrogant player, Shoreside, tells Bao to back off because he is there to take down Ye and no one else. However, his ego is quickly crushed when Bao engages him in a fierce battle. Ye emerges from the dust to land a hit that sends the guy flying. Before anything else can happen, the Guildmaster of Blue Brook, Chun, shows his face. Shoreside still doesn't want to accept the fact that he lost, and he starts to rant on the Game World chat. He wants them to settle the fight in the arena to avoid all these back and forths. The Guildmaster knows the risk that is attached to Shoreside losing in the arena. Meanwhile, we get to find out that the players who previously attacked Ye were from the Excellent era. Hao still cannot let go of his hatred for Ye. Ye had once denied his application to join the team, because Ye believed that he was not fit for the team. Hao has held this resentment inside him since then. Later on, Ye tells Yifan that he is creating a new plan, and this plan includes Yifan. In fact, he is going to play a huge role if the plan is to succeed. However, Ye wants Yifan to level up before the mission. He gives him 3 chances to do that, letting him know that 3 chances is all it takes. Yifan initially doesn't believe he can pull this off, but Yifan remembers Ye's words of encouragement, and this pushes him to lock in. Up next, Ye takes over Guo's character to fight Shoreside in the arena. Guo's character specialization creation is a launcher, and no one thinks Ye is going to have what it takes to pull this off. Shoreside comes after Ye, splitting himself to confuse the guy. However, Ye simply launches a bunch of blasts from the cannon to fish out the real Shoreside. To get some speed and get closer to Shoreside, Ye throws the cannon into the air. This gives him time to reach Shoreside. Ye delivers a surprise attack that hits Shoreside in the tummy. Before Shoreside can get the chance to get himself back into the fight, Ye gets hold of the cannon and delivers a powerful shot that ends the fight. All it took Ye to defeat Shoreside was 30 seconds, and everyone was blown away by this feat. Xiao's guildmaster Yu watches the fight and easily figures out that Lord Grimm is a pro. Xiao tries to sneak out of the room, but Yu calls him back. Yu looks at Grimm's records while he forces Xiao to stay with him. Yu is able to piece the puzzle together to realize that Lord Grimm is Ye Q. In fact, he is able to figure out that Xiao created another character, Flowing Tree, to join Ye's team. Xiao is a terrible liar, and since Yu has already put the pieces together, Xiao has no choice but to come clean. Xiao tells Yu that it is going to take Ye Q for at least 1 year to build up his character and reach the big league. Up next, Yi finds out that there is a new blogger called Concealed Light, who writes articles about the events in the game. The guy even predicts events and stuff that will happen. Later on, Xiao contacts Ye to let him know that he has been busted. Xiao is in the middle of this chat with Ye when the captain enters. He catches Xiao talking to Ye, and he uses the opportunity to demand a duel against Ye. Ye honors the request, and shortly afterward, the two meet in the arena. Yu is not playing around as he shows up to fight with his main character. The two charge against each other, launching several attacks at each other. Yu doesn't have a high APM, but he has the experience he needs to stand in the same ring with Ye. Even Ye knows that Yu with a high APM will be a tough rival. Yu tries to trap Ye in a ring of fire, but Ye easily breaks free. He goes after Yu, but he dodges the attack. At the end of the match, the two point out their weaknesses for each other like proper gamers. Yu then tells Xiao that Ye's character will be a problem for them once he levels up the character. Yu leaves Xiao to watch the match replay, and just by the way Yi's character moves, Xiao realizes that they are in for a long ride. Yi is so fast that even the camera finds it difficult to track his movements. Xiao logs into the game to challenge Ye, but Ye ignores his ass, telling the guy that he has other things to do. Ye needs money, and to get money, he needs to complete missions. He doesn't have the liberty to sit around and play useless matches with Xiao. After Ye is done studying Concealed Light's article, he comes to the conclusion that the guy is a noob, but he is somewhat good. Not long after this, Mucheng arrives at the cafe with a scarf covering her face to conceal her identity. Everyone on the Excellent Era team was known except Ye Chu, who kept his identity and face hidden. This is the reason Guo still cannot believe that the legend, Ye Q, is in her cafe playing games. Guo tells Ye that she is bored at home, which is why she came to see him. Later on, Ye logs in back to the game, and just as suspected, there are a bunch of players who want his head. Mucheng believes that Hao is the one playing tricks again. It turns out that not only Ye is being hunted, every member of his team is being hunted. Bao is hiding in a well, hoping that his assailants will run past him. However, a weird player finds Bao in the well where he is hiding. The player is now left to face off with Bao inside a tight well. Well, this will most likely not end well for him. Before Bao can knock out the guy, he quickly comes clean, telling Bao that he is not a bad person. He only entered the well to help him, he says. The guy sends Bao a friend request, and from there, Bao realizes that the weird guy is Concealed Light. Bao believes that his pursuers have left, and he bursts out of the well to make a run for it. However, the people chasing him are still in the area. Another round of chase begins, but Bao suddenly hears someone communicating with him and giving him directions to run to. Bao follows this stranger's lead and ends up losing those who are after him. Just as he turns around, he sees Concealed Light staring at him again. It turns out that Concealed Light was the one giving him directions. Concealed Light has observed the pursuers to know how many they are. Yi then contacts Bao, telling him to rendezvous with him in the Kanji forest. Bao suggests that Concealed Light lure away the assailants while he makes a run for the forest, but Concealed Light stops him, telling him that he knows a better route to take. It turns out that this joint team of bandits is made of Excellent Era players and players from Tyrannical Ambition. These two guilds are rivals, but they have come together to hunt Lord Grimm. Yi makes it to the Kanji forest, but he keeps getting requests from Xiao, asking for a duel. Yi then suggests that Xiao meets him in the forest. Xiao foolishly accepts the request, but before he knows what is happening, he sees a horde of players coming after them. He makes a run for it, and some of the players follow him. However, when they realize that Xiao is not the trophy, they turn back. Xiao is embarrassed by this. Instead of getting chased, Xiao ends up chasing the bandits. He manages to get the attention of a few, and he beats them up for insulting his importance. While the bandits are pursuing Ye, Xiao is chasing them from behind. Ye finally loses the bunch by hiding out in a tree. When he shows himself to Xiao, Xiao takes it as an opportunity to have a duel with the guy. However, Ye easily knocks him down. The bandits come rushing at their position again, but this time around, Ye launches a surprise attack that takes out some of the bandits. The game chat is filled with talks about Ye and the bandits who want him dead. However, Ye can only take out as much. Before he and Xiao know what is happening, they have been surrounded on all fronts. Even though the odds are against the two, they are not ready to bow to pressure. The two have really low magical power left in the reserve, but still jump down from the treetop to engage the bulk load of bandits waiting for them below. Just when the bandits are about to act cool by telling Ye and Xiao that they are surrounded, the rest of Ye's team shows up to change the odds. Alright, Bao and the rest of the team cut through the bandits like they were nothing. Concealed Light is also present, but he makes sure to stay away from the hot zone. His clumsiness causes him to hit his head on a tree, and he passes out like a baby. When he wakes up, the first thing he does is accidentally hit Bao in the crotch. Concealed Light still ends up bumping into the tree yet again. Yi receives a friend request from Concealed Light, and is just who he has been looking for. As the fight progresses, Ye receives orders from customers. He attends to them while engaging in a fierce battle with the bandits. The bandits hear him think he is communicating with his team using some sort of unknown code. When the bandits finally figure out that everything Ye is saying is not a code but attending to customers, this only makes them even madder. They can't believe that Ye is fighting them while he is also distracted. In no time, Ye and his team have rounded up the bandits, leaving only the leaders. They have them surrounded, and they are about to have the worst day of their entire gaming career. After eliminating the bandits and their leaders, they all emerge at the spawn point. Ye and his team have been able to outsmart their assailants pretty easily. Bao is still ready for some smoke even after the battle is over. Xiao, on the other hand, is not happy that he didn't get to duel Yi, even though it is pretty obvious that he is going to lose. Those who are involved in the ambush are disappointed that their ultimate plan didn't go through. Ye and Mucheng get to spend a lovely night together after the battle. Yi serves Mucheng a cup of instant noodles, and after she is done eating, she falls asleep on Ye's shoulder. When Tang asks Ye who she is, Ye comes up with a ridiculous name, telling Tang that Mucheng's name is Mumu. Tang lets Ye know that Mucheng is free to spend the night with her, but Ye declines the offer. Ye doesn't want Mucheng's identity to be known.